Blessings from the kingdom of the Son of God in our Lord Jesus Christ, our now reigning Davidic King, from the gorgeous San Gabriel Valley in beautiful Southern California. How should a Christian view political things? How should they view things like military service and the politics of a nation that they reside in, right? And one thing to know is that the Bible doesn't condemn getting involved in politics or military service. That's one thing to know right away. It doesn't condemn it. It doesn't say it's sin. And the problem in the last several decades is we've had this end times fanaticism in Christianity. And there's been this attitude of, well, what does this all matter here anyways? Jesus is coming back soon. The world's going to go to hell in a handbasket and it's going to end. And you simply just don't build civilizations with that mindset. And over the last several thousand years, the greatest civilizations have been built by Christians. Okay. And to build civilizations, you have to have involvement in politics. Politics throughout history has never been secular. It's only recently that it has been. Okay. But traditionally, politics is not secular. Now, I'm not in favor of a Christian, a state church, because we know that just leads to persecution of those that believe the doctrines that don't agree with the state church. It's not something that America was built on. Yeah, it's just not something America was built on. What we do want, though, is what this nation was originally founded upon was Christian principles. And it's funny, I get people all the time say, well, we were never established as a Christian nation, yet we had prayer in schools, the Bible taught in schools. To this day, people swear on Bibles to testify in court. You have scriptures posted at public government buildings, government courthouses. So what they're misunderstanding is that this was never intended to be a Christian country in terms of the way Europe had Christian countries, a state-recognized church. And there was supposed to be no coercion into the faith. It's really that simple. What's interesting is all the segment of Christianity that is anti, say, serving in the military. When Jesus encountered the soldier, he didn't tell him to quit, did he? Now, if that was sin, he would have told him, but it wasn't. What he told him was just be fair and just. And by the way, when you serve in the military, there are very strict rules. You're not just allowed to go around taking people out in war, man. People that think that are just the most ignorant morons. And the fact is, I was in the military. There are Geneva Convention rules and laws, and you are to really wait to the very last minute before you do anything to a civilian in time of war. You can get court-martialed. The way you treat prisoners, there's rules in that. So the problem is Christians have been convinced that it's virtuous to not do anything in their society in terms of making it better, because we're waiting for the end times. And the end times 2,000 years and counting, Christ hasn't come back. Now, I do believe Christ comes back in the future, but there's a reason why he didn't tell us exactly when. Because our job is to advance the kingdom. Now, I don't believe the kingdom is a physical place in terms of, but Christians are to have order in society. I believe we are the ones that are looked upon to establish order. There's nothing wrong with having an orderly society, an orderly government. Laws are put in place to protect people. And what's amazing to me, we live in a society that is topsy-turvy, that has turned things around. I mean, I was in a church and they're talking about pray for the prisoners and pray that they get treated fairly. Well, what about pray for the victims? But again, this is what happens when a society becomes effeminate in nature and gets away from patriarchy. Patriarchy is all throughout the Bible. You even see it in the New Testament where the man is the head of the woman, God's the head of Christ, Christ the head of man, man the head of the woman. Women are to learn in silence, they're not to teach and have authority over a man. Why? Because men are less emotional, more rational, and are not swayed easily by sob stories. But that's what our society's become, because strong Christian men have decided to listen to extremists in the Christian faith that are pacifists, because of which pacifistic Christianity didn't exist until the 1500s with certain outlier groups. Certainly we're not to be warmongers, but the fact is that I do believe military service is good for young men. It creates strong men. And what you see, especially what you see over this past weekend with all these No Kings protests, it is the height of effeminacy. It's the height of effeminate men who are being led around by these white liberal women, many of them lesbians and sodomites, sodomite women, because lesbians are sodomites too. And all it is complaining and whining. First of all, whatever you feel about Trump, he's not a king. There's certain things in place in American politics where you cannot be a king. So even that is on its face. These shows how ignorant these people are and just flat out dumb, to be honest with you. But what we have is we've created a society of whining complainers. Everything's too mean. Everything's fascist. Everything's Nazism. Because why? They don't want authority. They don't want rules. They want strict authority. And to implement those things is not unchristian. And anyways, I just thought I would share that, because we've become a society in America, especially among Christians, of just whining complainers. Everything's mean. Everything's authoritarianism. Oh, you're mean to the prisoners. You're mean to the third world illegal immigrants. Everything's about mean. That's like a very effeminate way, an emotional way of governing your country, is to put those things in the context of being mean and fascist and authoritarianism. This is why I think it behooves Christian men to get involved in these things, so that our country is not ruled by sob story emotional men who have been effeminized, because now they're demonizing the things that men have always done: military service, being strong, patriarchy, etc. Anyways, hail Christ, hail victory.